Hello everybody, welcome to ADM 725, Advanced Quantitative Methods in Educational Research. So I want to provide just an overview of our course as you get started over the next couple of weeks before we have our time together for the residency week here on campus. So in this video, just very briefly, I want to introduce myself, introduce the course, and when we come together in person, I want to spend a little bit of time getting to know each other a bit more. So I'm Brian Burke. I am the faculty member teaching this course with you this summer. I've been at Murray State for 3 years now and have previously been at Louisiana State University and the University of Alabama on the faculty at both of those institutions. My primary area is post-secondary education administration, and I teach this course along with the institutional assessment course in the doc program, and then one of the PSE specialization courses. Prior to joining the faculty, I worked in residence life at 2 SEC schools, that Southeastern Conference, if you're not a sports fan. So I've been at big schools, but I did my undergrad at a small regional campus. So in many ways, coming to Murray State is a lot like coming home. Better fit, I guess you could say, for what I'm all about. And so what am I all about? I mentioned that. I'm here to teach. That's really what drives me for being a faculty member. I enjoy doing research, but my motivator is to serve as a guide for whatever course I'm working with. And so right now that is statistics. And I know statistics can be a scary thing, and hopefully by the end of this course, if nothing else happens, you'll be less intimidated by stats. So why take ADM 725 other than the fact that it's required for your program? Well, the whole idea is for you to develop a foundation in statistics. Do I think that folks are going to come out of this class and become statistical wizards? No, I don't. That's not the purpose of this course. This course is very much a survey of a variety of statistical methods to use in social sciences. And so by taking that approach, my primary goal for you is for you to come out of this course with a couple of different things. To be conversant about statistics is my primary goal, so that when you're talking to somebody or you're reading an article and you see something about, or you hear something about a linear regression, you understand what that is. If you see something about correlation, you have a sense of what that is. You can differentiate between descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. So it's really about developing the skills and tools that you need to understand the verbiage, not only to be able to process what those things mean, but then for you yourself to be able to use them in a efficient manner. So our tools this summer, we have 2 primary things that we're using. First up is IBM SPSS. That's the statistical package for the social sciences. It is currently in production, or the release is version 24. The book that we're using, which is Discovering Statistics Using IBM SS Statistics by Andy Field, it's 4th edition. Field covers version 21 of SPSS. Not a whole lot of difference between version 21 and 24. Or if you happen to get 22 or 23, so really it's like very minor things that are going on. It's maybe they moved where a button is, maybe they put an option for selecting a particular type of statistic in a particular area, but it's very minor stuff. I will say though that if you go any lower than about version 19 or 20, you're going to have some difficulty because there were some features added to SPSS with those versions. So getting the newest version is generally the best approach. And in terms of getting that software, the best place to get it is directly from SPSS or from IBM. There are graduate student rates available. You just have to be able to confirm that you're a graduate student using your murraystate.edu email address. And then they might ask you to send them a copy, so a photocopy or a scanned copy of your school ID. And if they ask for verification from a faculty member, you can enter my information, bburke@murraystate.edu. So a word of caution about the text. If you've already started looking through the book, You'll notice that the author is British, and that can mean that sometimes the examples don't necessarily resonate with kind of our lived experience, I guess you could say, across the pond. And also the humor is very British, and so it's a bit dry. I think is how one of the probably nicest ways to categorize British humor. So just kind of word of caution. Also, just the writing, it's dry, it's statistics. I would not probably read this book in bed at night because you want to make sure that you're able to give it your full attention, because you don't want to do the readings just to get through them. You want to do the readings in a manner that helps you understand the concepts that are being addressed. The instructional approaches for this course, I see it as being iterative, is that learning one piece then is a building block for the next piece, and then there's a revisiting of those previous pieces as well. The idea sometimes that questions beget further questions. We'll start off this summer in this course with understanding the outputs in SPSS and how we use those, and then as we progress through the summer, we'll get to the point of generating those outputs and really understanding the entire process from beginning to end, from once you have a data set to how do you manipulate that data set and then create the outputs that you need to make interpretations and conclusions. We're going to move from the process of identifying proper tests to use and then move on to checking assumptions. So for every statistical test, there are a series of assumptions that need to be met in order to be able to use that individual test. And then finally, again, concluding with making interpretations from the results. Then we'll use a series of scenarios to help build our vocabulary around key terminology, again, with the idea that by the end of this course, everybody will be conversant in statistics. And what I mean by that is that you're able to talk about statistics in meaningful ways, not get lost in the terminology, and being able to differentiate between key approaches and key terms. And you'll find that with each module there is a video or two. The videos are really to provide a supplement to the text and to our time together during the residency week. So during residency week, we'll have between 2 and 3 hours each day to talk through these key pieces or the key approaches that we're addressing this summer. So we're not even covering the entirety of the field book. We are hitting what are some of the most dominant pieces of statistics that we utilize in educational research and in the social sciences. And so we'll get into some depth really in that time together during residency week. And then the videos will be there as a supplement to, if you need a reminder. So I'll be hitting high points with videos. The last thing you want is to watch an hour-long video about linear regression, where really what you'll need at that point is, if you need the video, is a refresher, some highlights to help you remember, okay, I need to look back at my notes from residency week on this piece, or, oh, okay, this is pointing back to section 4.7 in the field book, something like that. So the question that students often have when getting into a course is, how will I be assessed? So there's homework throughout the course. So for each module, there is a homework assignment, and then there will be 2 tests, a midterm and a final examination. So everything is about being able, so through the homework, being able to apply the concepts that we are learning through the summer. And then the tests are, it's a combination of testing knowledge, but then also testing your ability to apply as well. So everything for this course is conducted through the Canvas learning management system. So all of your assignments you will submit through Canvas. I'm going to open those windows in a timely manner for you to provide, in order to provide you with flexibility for making those submissions. But also recognize that things are paced in a particular way to really reflect that there's a certain amount of time that you're going to need for each piece. So the idea that you're going to be able to kind of churn through, or let me just go ahead and submit everything and be done with it so that you can enjoy your summer, I get that, but also recognize that this can be some dense reading. This can be some dense work. So it takes time and it takes effort and concentrated effort, but also this course is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So it's all about being able to pace yourself. And so due dates and the submission windows are paced in that type of perspective. As advanced graduate students, it's up to you to figure out how to balance all the requirements and the rigor of this course with what you have going on with the other courses that are associated with this summer, things that you have going on with work, things that are go on with life. My best advice to you is to plan ahead and to expect the unexpected. You never know when life happens. My experience has been that life happens when at the most inopportune times. So when you're able, get things done. Don't wait till the last minute. If something is due on June 10th, don't wait until June 9th to start it. But also, I do recognize you have to balance what's going on. So work ahead. While the submission windows are going to be open for particular times, the entirety of the course is going to be available to you all summer. So if you have pockets of windows to at least start looking at things in advance, take a look at them. But again, I want to discourage you from thinking that you can cram everything together in a week or, gosh, even a weekend. I've known students to try to do things like that before. And there were students in my doc program who did that, for example, with one of our courses. And then by the time they got to the end of the course, because they crammed everything in, it's kind of like when you cram for a test. As soon as you dump it onto the page, you're done. They didn't really feel prepared for the final exam because they had not paced themselves throughout the course. And I think Beaker really, really says it best here with his words of wisdom. And I think that the words of wisdom are, give yourself space to learn. I don't expect you to come into the course with having any background knowledge. We expect some basic level that you've had an intro to research methods at some point in your previous graduate work, but also recognizing that maybe that was quite some time for you, time ago for you. And so I want to make sure that I'm not coming into the course with assumptions about where you're at. This course is about your learning. Ask questions. When you feel confused, ask questions. If we need to spend time with just simply having question and answer sessions during residency week, we can do that. After residency week is over, if we want to schedule a time, whether it's individually or even as a group or a portion of the full class, to get together on webcam and have a question and answer session, I'm always happy to do that. This class is for you. You might look at it and say, well, it's a required course, I have to take it. But this course, it's about your learning. So coming out of whether it's the EDS program or the EDD program, we want to make sure that you've got, at least at a minimum, a base level understanding of research approaches. So that's it for this intro video. I look forward to getting to know each of you throughout this course and throughout the summer and working with you through your learning.